Many people do not recognize the names Roma and Sinti, but are quick to claim knowledge of the quote-unquote gypsies, the derogatory name used to describe the many tribes of people who migrated to Europe from India in the 1400s, including the Roma and Sinti. Roma and Sinti are traditionally traders, craftsmen, and performers who rarely settle in one place and often move depending on the time of year. Roma and Sinti have been discriminated against in Europe for years before the Holocaust, but this cruel treatment and prejudice based on perceptions of Roma and Sinti as being antisocial, inferior, and threatening to European culture, purity, and safety significantly worsened under Hitler's rule in Europe. In 1933, Hitler began to arrest Roma and Sinti as asocials, but quickly developed legislation discriminating against them based on race and not social behavior. Like Jews, the 1935 Nuremberg laws defined gypsies as non-Aryan, and the Department of Racial Hygiene and Population Biology conducted experiments on Roma and Sinti people to better understand their quote-unquote race. By 1936, Roma and Sinti had lost the right to vote. Beginning in 1937, Roma and Sinti were forced to ghettos, labor camps, and eventually concentration camps where they endured cruel and dehumanizing treatment. In the East, mass shootings of Roma and Sinti occurred, killing 8,000 people in the Soviet Union. Other Roma and Sinti were sent to Dachau, Ravensbrück, Buchenwald, and Treblinka. Roughly 5,000 Roma were deported from France. In 1938, when Austria was incorporated into Germany, there were over 30,000 Roma and Sinti living in Germany under Hitler's rule. However, in 1942, Himmler ordered mass transports of Roma to Auschwitz. About 23,000 Roma and Sinti were sent to Auschwitz, where most were placed in the Gypsy family camp, often identified by a black or green triangle, also used for asocials and criminals, respectively. In 1944, Roma and Sinti at Auschwitz attempted to resist the Nazis. Though they were able to delay the Nazis slightly, this resulted in the remaining Roma being sent to forced labor at Auschwitz I or the gas chambers at Birkenau. In total, nearly 300,000 Roma and Sinti were killed in the Holocaust. Tragically, as is the case with many of the targeted populations of the Holocaust, discrimination against Roma and Sinti did not end with the liberation of concentration camps and the Allied victory in World War II. Roma children are still discriminated against in schools throughout Europe because non-Roma parents perceive them as dirty and less educated, and thus view Roma children as poor influences on their own children. The stereotype that gypsies are evil criminals and pickpockets also persists to this day. Finally, the remains of the barracks of Lety, a concentration camp in Czech Republic for Roma and Sinti, have been converted into a pig farm by the Czech government. Today, many Roma and Sinti are working to convert this into a memorial to honor the lives of the Roma and Sinti killed and harmed by the Nazis. Unfortunately, the Czech government has refused. Roma and Sinti continue to respect those they lost in the Holocaust, and they protest and fight for their rights today.